My name is Jacob Quintana. I'm a recruitment specialist with Cal State LA's Office of Admissions and Recruitment. My whole job is to work with transfer students just like yourselves and first-time freshmen, so students coming in directly from high school or for the first time attending college in general. So I'm really excited to be here to be talking to you or rather about Cal State LA. I myself am an alumni. I graduated with both my bachelor's and my master's degree from Cal State LA. So now I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why Cal State LA can be a great institution for you. So to begin, I definitely recommend looking into the alumni network at any institution you're looking at, really. But specifically at Cal State LA, we do have a vast alumni network with very, very good connections. For example, we have Miss Maxine Waters, who's right at the center of the screen. And if you don't know who that is, if you just turn on your TV, you'll find out who that is very, very soon. She is an active congresswoman. She's part of the U.S. House of Representatives, which is really great because she's also an active member of our alumni community. She comes to our big events. She connects students to certain internships, or even part-time, full-time jobs, which is really great. Right below Miss Maxine Waters, we have Sasha Renee Perez, who's also involved in the political realm. She is the youngest state senator to ever be elected into office, which is really, really awesome. So again, the youngest state senator ever to be elected into California State Senate. She represents the Pasadena area. On top of that, too, we do have some really great actors as part of our alumni repertoire. We have Mr. Alan Arkin and Mr. Edward James Olmos. And the one I like to talk about as well is Mr. Isaac Larian, who's located at the top right-hand corner. He is the CEO of MGM Entertainment, so the CEO and the founder, which is really great. MGM Entertainment is one of the largest and most successful private toy manufacturing companies in the United States. So some of his work would include like the Bratz dolls. So if you know the Barbie dolls, you know the Bratz dolls. Also the LOL Surprise toys. So he's responsible for those, which is really great. On top of that, we have Miss Billie Jean King, who's just to the left of that. She's one of the most famous women's tennis players in the world. She's also very involved into like social justice and activism, and a very involved member of Cal State LA. So this is all just to kind of give you a glimpse and an idea of what Cal State alumni go off to do, and some of the connections you can benefit from as a student here at Cal State LA. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, so a little bit further of some of Cal State LA's accolades, why you should choose Cal State LA and why this is the perfect institution for you to continue with your academic endeavors. Number one, we are ranked number one in the nation for upward mobility. But what does that mean, right? Because it kind of just sounds like a fancy title. Essentially, what it means is in the entire nation, Cal State LA has the highest propensity as far as launching any student from either a low income or a first generation college student background, meaning you're the first in your family to go to college, into high paying, high achieving careers. This is particularly due to our business, our nursing, and our engineering programs. But as a whole, Cal State LA was awarded this award, which is really, really awesome. And that really just comes to show we kind of showcase our awesome faculty, our awesome resources, our awesome institution as a whole. Going into that a little further, we are ranked as an R2 research institution, kind of just piggybacking off the award I just talked about. And if you take a look at the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see some of the institutions that we have available to you. So if you're interested in criminal justice or a life science degree here at Cal State LA, then we have the perfect place for you. We have the Hertzberg Davis Forensic Science Lab, which is awesome because if you're interested in working in, either in the law enforcement realm or you're interested in working in the lab, you get to observe actual LAPD and LA sheriffs investigate crime. Not only can you observe, but sometimes participate and kind of ask questions as they're actively investigating these crimes, which is really great. Right below that, we have the LA Biospace Business Incubator, which allows Cal State LA students to not only get their research funded, but an active place to participate in their research, whether it's cancer research or biomedical research or even things like microbiome research. We have the facilities and the funding for you to partake in. And then, of course, right below that, we have the Patricia Chin School of Nursing Simulation Lab. As a CSU institution, we're not just about teaching you what it's about to be a great nurse. We're going to show you what it's like to be a great nurse. via hands-on experience in the simulation lab, whether it's working with test dummies, doing real life blood drawing, real life actively working with your hands is what we're all about. Okay. Moving on, we're going to talk about that Cal State LA was the first Chicano Studies program in the entire United States. So it was actual Cal State LA students and faculty that pioneered this program into launching the first Chicano Studies program ever. So we definitely do love talking about that. Moving on, we are ranked top 10 among top schools in California as well. So that's something we definitely do like to talk about. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next screen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of our campus resources that you as a student can definitely partake in. So I'm only going to go cover a few of these just for the sake of time. But some of my favorite student support resources that we have is, for example, our CAPS program, or Counseling and Psychological Services. This is super, super important, especially nowadays where mental health is has a huge spotlight, right? You get a free 30-minute session with a counselor or a psychologist, and you can talk about whatever it is you'd like, right? So whether it's something going on at home, maybe you're struggling with your transition from community college to Cal State LA, a four-year university, whether you have like personal issues you want to talk about, whatever it is, the CAPS program is here to assist you, right? So again, Cal State LA does value your mental health, which is why we offer these free services for you. Going a little further into that, we do have our Erica Glazier Family Dreamers Resource Center, which is an awesome office for our undocumented students or our dreamers to kind of participate in. There's certain fellowships that students can take part of, certain scholarships, certain services like getting access to lawyers through our Edison program for assistance with like immigration issues or immigration status. So that's something we do love to talk about. Of course, our Educational Opportunity Program, or some of you may know this at the community college level as EOP and S. So here at the four-year level at Cal State LA, we call it EOP, Educational Opportunity Program. Very, very similar. Essentially, you get tuition stipends, right? So financial assistance. You get dedicated counselors to support you with your academic endeavors here at Cal State LA. You get one-on-one support, transitional bridge programs, priority registration for your classes, all of this stuff. I love the EOP program. Going a little further into that, we do have our Office for Students with Disabilities. This is an office for students with any either like learning disabilities or any physical ailments. We have options for you to partake in, right? Whether it's additional time for you to take on tests. So instead of the standard hour and a half, you get given a 3-hour time slot. Or, for example, if you are unable to take notes, we have note takers that can follow you around during class and, of course, take notes for you in your class sessions. Or, of course, we can give you access to certain elevators or certain access to certain resources here on campus. The last one I'm going to talk about is our technology support program. Essentially, here at Cal State LA, we understand that sometimes people aren't able to afford either like laptops or iPads. So we do have a loaner bundle, but I'm not going to get into that too much because my colleague Gabriella will go ahead and break that down for you. But let's go ahead and move on to the next slide where we will go ahead and talk about tips for success. I'm sorry, so the associate degree for transfer. So again, this only really applies to students who are earning the ADT. So this is not students who are earning an AA or an Associate of Science. This is an associate degree for transfer, right? So it's an Associate of Arts for transfer or an Associate of Science for transfer. So we do need you to connect with your transfer center or your counseling department at your community college right now to ensure that you are getting verified through E-Verify. Essentially, what this means is it's a system that the CSUs have access to and the community colleges have access to. And it essentially lets us know that the student, you, are on track to earning the ADT and completing all of the ADT requirements by the end of spring. If you're currently on an academic plan to earning an ADT, then this is a typical automated process for you. And most students don't really have to worry about this because, again, this is an automated process done on your behalf. However, if you want to just be proactive and just double check, just connect with your transfer center and be like, hey, I just want to call and make sure that my E-Verify has been sent to Cal State LA. Okay. Keep in mind that that's due on March 13th, 2026. Okay. So about a month from now, a little less than a month. Otherwise, another way we can give you credit for an ADT, or rather verify that you have an ADT, is when it gets posted on your transcript. Okay, on your official transcript, once you go ahead and of course graduate and get awarded that degree from your community college, on your official transcript it'll say Jacob Quintana had a ADT in English conferred to him on this date, this date. Okay. That's when it'll pop up for you on your official transcript. And of course, those official transcripts are due to us on July 15th, 2026. Okay. If it's not required for your admission, it's going to be due on September 1st, 2026. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next slide, where we're going to talk about some tips for success. So there's 4 main departments I want to go ahead and basically advise you to make sure you're connected with. Number 1 is the Office of Admissions, right? We want to make sure that everything admissions related is being completed. So for example, you want to make sure that our office has received your transcripts, any maybe residency forms, any biodemo forms, anything of the sort that will affect your admissions process, right? You want to make sure everything's good with us. Number 2, financial aid. You're going to want to make sure you're going to have the means to, of course, pay the tuition here at Cal State LA. So whether it's through federal financial aid, California grants and scholarships, or through loans, right? You want to make sure that all of that is being taken care of. Number 3, first flight orientation. Orientation is mandatory for all students, okay? You're not able to become a student here at Cal State LA without attending. So you want to make sure you have your orientation date sorted out and all that stuff. Lastly, number 4, advisement, right? You want to make sure you're reaching out to your advisor. In fact, I'm not going to scare you with any of that information. Your advisor will reach out to you in about maybe 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months, setting up a Zoom session with you in order to help you create your class schedule for fall 2026, okay? So don't panic. Your advisor is going to reach out to you in 4 or 5 months to set up your class schedule, and that's when you'll register for classes, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. This is going to give you an idea of what you can do right now in order to be successful as a Cal State LA student. So you're already doing an awesome job by participating in the transfer days, which is this right here, right? You're participating in Transfer Fridays, and that shows initiative on your part, and it shows that you're being proactive and you want to learn the next steps as far as accepting your offer of admission here at Cal State LA. So another event we have here is Black Excellence. We have an in-person event on February 21st and a virtual session on February 26th. And it's really an opportunity for you to connect with our community here at Cal State LA and hear certain experiences from Black students or anyone from like that from that background. So we have alumni coming in, we have faculty and staff that'll kind of come, share their stories, and essentially just have conversations with students and prospective students. The next thing on the list here is our Cal State LA fall Q&A sessions. So we haven't really launched the communication for that just yet. However, in the next few months, you're going to get an email from someone like myself, who's a recruitment specialist, who's going to be connecting with you saying, hey, I'm going to be hosting Q&A sessions from, let's say, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Wednesday, right? Feel free to drop in, ask any questions that you may have, and then head on out. Right? It's not like a presentation where you have to sit down for like a whole hour, hour and a half, whatever it is. You come in, join the Zoom session, ask your question, and you're more than welcome to leave whenever you're ready. So if you want to register, just scan the QR code at the bottom right-hand corner, and it'll take you directly to our recruitment page where you can see a list of all of our events, or essentially everything is going to be on that website. All right, folks, so right now it is February 20th, so we're right in between like crunch time, right? Right now, we definitely want to make sure that you're submitting transcripts with all of your fall grades posted, okay? So if you took classes for fall 2025, which was the semester that ended in December, that means that you owe us transcripts right now, okay? So if you took classes for fall 2025, you owe us transcripts right now. The deadline to submit those is April 30th, 2026. So you have about a month and a half left to submit those. Okay. However, I'm going to encourage you to submit those as soon as possible because the sooner we receive your transcripts, the sooner your academic advisor will be able to advise you of the list of classes you need to take once you get to Cal State LA. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. If you took classes during the fall 2025 semester, which is the semester that ended in December, you owe us transcripts right now and before April 30th, right? Or before April 30th. But again, we recommend the sooner the better. Otherwise, the next step is to make sure your FAFSA is submitted by March 2nd. Okay, that means your FAFSA or your CADA application. Okay, that's the priority deadline. The next step is to attend Preview Day, which is on April 18th. It's not a mandatory event. However, you're going to have such a great time. It's an option for you to kind of bring your family and your friends. Otherwise, the last day to commit to Cal State LA is going to be on May 1st, which is the ECD deadline, the enrollment confirmation deposit deadline. Okay. So if you're going to commit to Cal State LA, you can go ahead and do that now, all the way until May 1st. And there's two ways to commit to Cal State LA. Number one is to submit the $100 deposit or to submit a waiver. Both of them save your spot here at Cal State LA. The only difference is that you're going to have to be paying $100 for one, or you pay the $100 later, which is the waiver option, at a later time, along with your tuition and fees. Okay? So either whether you submit the waiver or the actual enrollment confirmation deposit, both of which do the same thing. They both save your spot here at Cal State LA, one of which just allows you to basically defer the $100 payment. Okay? Of course, you want to attend your summer activities as well, which is your orientation. Again, orientation is mandatory for all students. Just a friendly reminder as well, the earlier you submit your ECD, the earlier you'll be able to choose from your orientation date. Okay, so if you know you want to come to Cal State LA, like this is already the institution for you, I recommend submitting your ECD or the waiver as soon as possible so that you can have the best selection of orientation dates to choose from because you'll have 5 or 6 different dates. Lastly, your final transcripts are going to be due by July 15th. So this is for any students who are taking classes for spring 2026, which is this current semester. Okay. So again, if you're taking classes right now for spring 2026, you're going to owe us transcripts at the end of the semester and before July 15th. Okay. Lastly, congratulations. You're officially a Cal State LA student, and your first day of classes is going to be on August 24th. Okay, that's your first day of classes. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next slide.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Yes, thank you. My name is Gabriela Gonzalez. I am the CRM and data systems analyst here in the office. I do kind of want to address a couple of questions that I've been seeing in the chat already. Because this is an online transfer day, unfortunately, we may not be able to hit all of your personalized admission, financial aid, or advisement questions, but we'll definitely be able to provide you with phone numbers, emails where we can, and we can look more into it. Also, just a reminder, you guys are provisionally admitted, and what does that mean? That means you've been admitted based on the courses and grades and degrees that you have reported on your application. And the transcripts that Jacob was talking about and a little bit of Anna, those transcripts we will receive and confirm what you did on your application. Should you need to change your schedule, if something happens with the course that you were taking, that is okay. That happens to a lot of applicants, so don't feel alone. But what we do is when we receive your official one, we can now use your new course schedule slash grades to go ahead and evaluate admissions. Okay, but with that, we'll go ahead and kind of start. So this is about the activating the My Cal State LA and Get Student Center. So here at Cal State LA, we use that's our portal. We call it the My Cal State LA. I'm sure your community college has a portal similar to that. This is also where you'll activate your Cal State LA email. So this is just a tidbit. Us in the admissions office are emailing your personal email constantly regarding your application and events. But moving forward, financial aid, records, advising will email to your Cal State LA email. So if there's anything that you take away today or this morning is really just to make sure you're checking emails constantly, your personal one as you're going through the phase of admission and as you submit your ECD and looking to really come to Cal State LA, definitely encourage you to put that now on the email on your phone so you can go ahead and get those. Also emails as well. So you can go ahead and keep going. So we also want to make sure you know how to activate your My Cal State LA. So we have some first slides to go ahead and activate if you haven't. The QR code goes ahead and takes you to the website, or you can type in the website as well right there. And you want to go ahead and click Activate Account. Once you've gone ahead and click that, you'll go to the next page, which will now have to ask for your CIN and last name. Another tip that we like to give applicants is you do need to kind of start to remember your CIN. It is your campus identification number. It is your social security number here on campus. If you've ever emailed or called our office, I'm sure that we've kind of referenced what is your CIN. This CIN number is a 9-digit number. It usually starts with 40 or 30. It's at the bottom of usually any admission related communications, whether that been your admission email, because you guys have all been provisionally admitted. If it's been any email regarding your transcripts, any of those, it'll be at the bottom. So just note and try to remember that number as you move forward in the admission process because all offices will need that. That'll be including advising, records, and financial aid will all need your campus identification number. So once you've gone ahead and put the CIN and the last name, you'll accept and validate and create a password for your MyCalCidelay. And through there, you'll also be able to get your email address. And then we'll go ahead to the next one. Awesome. Once at the end of your process of activating your My Cal State Delay, you will get a full email Cal State Delay address. And when they ask for the username, that will be your Cal State Delay email. So when you go ahead and sign into your portal, it will go ahead and give you this prompt right here to go ahead and use your email. And then you'll put the password that you put when you activated your account. And then once we go ahead and sign in, you're going to get a little bit of picture of what the portal looks like. We call these boxes right now, so Canvas, Get, Email. Your box, if you were to sign in today, doesn't it look exactly like this? It will start to show slowly add boxes as you go through the admission process. Currently, right now, you should at least have an email and Get, but for today, we're going to focus on Get primarily right now. So once you go ahead and click Get, we call it the Get Student Center. That's primarily what you're going to be working with through the admission process. So once you go ahead and click that tile, we call it a tile here, you'll go ahead and see it's a little bit separated, but we're going to go ahead and go through all this information together. So on my top right is the communication center. So in the communication center is where all emails are going to you as a student. It will be all emails from the admissions office. It will be emails from the financial aid office, records. Advising emails will not be in here. It's just going to be enrollment services emails that we've been sending to you. So if you ever feel like you maybe have missed some or things like that, definitely encourage you to go ahead and you can go into your communication center and review all the emails there. Right below that is holds. So documentation and submitting them is not an option, unfortunately, for admission. We are required, and failure to submit documentation can result in a hold. So what can holds do? Holds can prevent you from enrolling in courses. Holds can prevent you from getting released financial aid, things like that. So we encourage you to definitely submit transcripts on time, if not sooner. As Jacob mentioned, your fall grades are due in April 30th, but I don't recommend submitting them April 29th. Definitely want to go ahead and do them a month, if not a couple months beforehand, if not now. So we can also go ahead and, make sure we're getting your transfer credit done. This is all kind of interlinked together. So under the holds is also the to-do list. In this case for the student, she has one to-do list, enroll in direct deposit, but on yours, for admission purposes, you'll most likely see college transcript. You can click on the to-do list items and they give more detail on what transcript specifically from what institution we're requesting from. Also, the to-do list is used from different offices. I know that financial aid uses it as well. You can always click the to-do item and go ahead and read the description on how you can resolve said to-do list and where to submit documents or anything else that is being requested by the office as well. So it's definitely important that when it goes or you're getting close to fall, that you need to have no holds and no to-do list in order to be able to participate. Well, you can participate in orientation, but to be able to speak with an advisor to be able to enroll, those two things can affect that. Financial aid, we'll talk in a little bit as well, but when they reference the Get Student Center, you also can see your financial aid, the awards that are being offered to you, your package, that's also viewed in the Get Student Center. So those are just two things to kind of, or really four things to really reference in your Get To Do Center. And what we mean when we say to-do list, that's what we're talking about.